Hey everyone, I'm in my car and haven't moved in like 15 minutes. My day didn't exactly go as planned. This morning, I woke up ready to make breakfast, but guess what? I had no eggs or bacon. Because I didn't have what I needed, I had to jump in the car and head to the store. And since I was already out, I figured I might as well run a few errands too, and I drove toward the city, and now here I am, sitting in terrible traffic on my way back home. Because of that, I have to wait even longer for my breakfast. It might even be lunchtime by then. Oh, what a morning. While I'm here, why don't we at least listen to something interesting? Oh, I found this great podcast that talks about ideas that change the world. Perfect for our quest to figure out which invention might be the most influential. Oh, and be sure to listen for clues about which text structure this podcast writer might be using. We have two more left to check out: cause and effect and problem and solution. Let's listen.
Try and imagine a world without cars. Pretty hard, right? Before cars were invented, people used horses, carriages, and their own feet to get around. Because travel was slow back then, life itself moved at a slower pace. But when the car was invented, everything changed quickly. This amazing invention didn't just give us a new way to get around, it also changed the way we live. Because cars made traveling faster and easier, people could go farther and get there quicker than ever before. As a result, cities grew bigger and spread out. Since people could now live farther away from where they worked, suburbs, quiet neighborhoods outside of big cities, started to grow. The rise of the car also had a huge impact on businesses. Since cars became so popular, factories began making lots of them. As a result, cars became cheaper and more people could buy them. This, in turn, created millions of jobs, not just in car factories, but also in other businesses like steel, rubber, and oil. The need for these materials led to the opening of gas stations, repair shops, and highways all over the country. The effects of the car didn't stop there. Because cars gave people the freedom to travel whenever they wanted, families could take road trips, explore new places, and visit relatives far away. This led to the opening of new businesses like motels, fast food restaurants, and drive-in movie theaters, all made for people on the move. The car transformed the way people move, reshaped cities, boosted businesses, and changed how people lived and had fun. So the next time you get in a car, remember that you're part of a story that started over 100 years ago, when the world first started driving.
Oh, wow. How incredible is the car? And did you figure out which text structure this writer used? Oh, traffic is starting to move. Let me get back to the book nook and we can dig a little deeper. While I'm doing that, pause and take a closer look at the transcript. Write down your ideas about which text structure this might be. All right, I'm back in the book nook and I've taken a look at the transcript of that podcast we just listened to. I noticed that they talked a lot about the things that happened after the car was invented, like how motels and drive-in movie theaters were built because people started traveling more by car. Do you think this podcast used a cause and effect or problem-solution structure? I'm thinking this writer used a cause and effect text structure. A cause and effect text structure shows how one thing leads to another. The cause is why something happens, and the effect is what happens because of it. Just like my morning. I ran out of eggs, which caused me to go to the store. I drove into the city, and the effect was that I hit traffic on my way home. Let's take some notes in our guide. Authors use signal words like because, so, therefore, as a result, and since to help readers understand the cause and effect relationship between events. These words show how one event leads to another. Look here in the transcript. The third paragraph says, because cars made traveling faster and easier, people could go farther and get there quicker than ever before. Can you identify the cause and the effect? The cause is that cars made traveling faster. The effect is that people could get to faraway places quicker. The signal word, because, helps us see the connection between the cause and effect. And look here. Since people were able to quickly travel to faraway places, the cause, quiet neighborhoods outside of cities started to grow, the effect. Pause here and underline any other signal words that clue us in to the cause and effect relationships the podcast episode presented. Label the cause and effect relationships within the transcript. These are the signal words I noticed when rereading. The invention of the car led to a lot of effects on the world, and with the help of signal words, I can easily identify those effects. As a result of factories producing cheaper cars, more people could afford them, which led to a boom in jobs, greater freedom to travel, and even the invention of other things related to cars, like fast food restaurants and drive-in movie theaters. So, when else might an author use a cause and effect text structure? I'm thinking an author might use a cause and effect text structure when explaining scientific processes, like how plants grow, or when discussing historical events, like why a war started. It can also be used to show the impact of a decision or action, like maybe what happens when we recycle. This structure helps readers understand what happened and why it happened. Pause here to write down any other ideas you have for this kind of text structure. Great work today! As readers, we've unraveled how authors use a cause and effect text structure to show how one event leads to another. Just like how the invention of the car changed the world in so many ways. I wonder if this will be our most influential invention. We still have one more text structure and many more inventions to explore. Until next time, keep reading and keep working on those goals. Bye!
Hey, hey.